Engine howling in the lane, hands wide knuckled on the wheel. Full throttle racing, red line fever, we don't come here to heal. NASCAR O'Reilly series cars biting down through the turns. Rear ends wiggle, bodies lean, every lap's a lesson learned. Dive low, dig hard, don't lift, don't blink, brake late, stand tall, make 'em taste that shrink. Pass me if you can, pass me if you dare. We'll spin tires, smoke, we tear through the air. Pass me if you can, pass me if you dare. Full throttle racing, we leave 'em right there. Motor mouth broadcasting, got the whole track lit. Every move, every scrape, every brutal little hit. Mirror full of trouble, door to door and mean. One clean line, one hot shove, and the red flag dreams. Dive low, dig hard, don't lift, don't blink, brake late, stand tall, make 'em taste that shrink. Pass me if you can, pass me if you dare. We'll spin tires, smoke, we tear through the air. Pass me if you can, pass me if you dare. Full throttle racing, we leave 'em right there. Blues guitar crying like a blade through steel. Bite that curb, hold that slide, make the whole town feel. Overtakes flying from the apron to the wall. If you want that win, son, you gotta want it all. Pass me if you can, pass me if you dare. We'll spin tires, smoke, we tear through the air. Pass me if you can, pass me if you dare. Full throttle racing, we leave 'em right there. Full throttle racing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NASCAR Throttle Nation Racing here on the Motor Mouth Broadcasting Network. Obviously, week 6, season 1. And yeah, look at all the clouds. Look how drizzly it is. We was actually under a weather delay. You actually see the 95% right there for the rain. So obviously, that's what we've been having issues with. But we got the all clear. The track is dry. We got the cars on the grid. And we'll go ahead and we'll slide you right on into it here at the Magic Mile at New Hampshire. I'm the Redneck Announcer, Jake Reeves, the Aussie Hamish Monroe on co-commentating and producing. And here is the starting grid for tonight. Wyatt Blair going to start on the front row with Ricardo Bernal will start right beside him on the outside. A couple of Chevys right there in row number 1. Then he got a Yoda and a Ford. It's Aiden Morris and Wyatt V. McCullough. Watch out for the 112. We'll see what he can do here tonight with that Yoda and Ford right there in row number 2. Mason Ramirez. There you see him, number 13, got his Ford ready to rock and roll. And Kyle Dean will be sitting in the P6 spot outside Ford Edge Chevy, row number 3. Row number 4, you got Alex Evers and Ryder Poe. We'll see what they can tackle here tonight at the Magic Mile here at New Hampshire. Chevy and Yoda right there. And then, oh, damn, look at that. Budweiser. Get me a beer, son. Christian Coffee, P9 and a Chevy. Stephen Hilliard in his number 2 Chevy right there on the outside of row number 5. Row 6, you got Dagan Barnes right beside him. Belizmero. We're going to go with that. 86 of Belizmero will be starting on the outside of row number 6. Then you got Josh McConnell, Cody Swim. It's going to make up the 14 drivers here tonight for the Magic Mile. You see it right there, 1 mile in length, New Hampshire. Hamish, buddy, what the hell is going on? We're ready to see some NASCAR Throttle Nation racing, baby.
You know, the rain comes at the worst time, and sometimes weather updates are things that we're almost patiently waiting for to come through our way, Jake. It's great to be here with you, though, of course, and for New Hampshire tonight after what has been nearly an hour delay, which we do apologise for the roughly hour delay off the back of that as well. We prepare ourselves for what's to come tonight. Obviously, 142 laps here at New Hampshire. It should go by fairly quickly if we can keep it mean and green. 3 different stages across the night as well. Lap 35, lap 70, and then out to lap 142 will be the end of this race, of course. We wait for the grid timer to slow down and get us underway as the pace truck will pull us away off the grid. And I heard as well the drivers were having a bit of fun with the weather delay, Jake. They were singing along, they were playing some music. I even heard the national anthem was sung about 5 times in that time just to try and pad the crowd a little bit as well. But no, it should be exciting, of course, across this race. Drivers will have to be careful off of turn 4 as well, Jake. That's going to be an area that drivers will need to try and maintain. It's going to be tough to save their stuff here tonight as well. It's a cold track. It's a moist piece of humidity as well that's out in the air. So this could lead to some dramas all throughout the race. We'll see, though, how the drivers handle it.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do here tonight. Magic Mile, New Hampshire. That is where we're at. Turns is 2 degrees and 7 degrees. It's kind of that progressive banking kind of gets a little bit more banked up as you go up high, and then obviously pretty much flat as a pancake, 1 degree, if you will, on the straightaways as well. This place opened in 1990 with a capacity of 44,000, and this is where the open wheel modifieds love to race all the way up north here in New Hampshire. Pace car is finally off after, like Hamish said, near an hour weather delay. And we are green flag for week 6 of the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series. Wyatt Blair, Ricardo Bernal, they're going to send it off into turn 1. We already got a spinner back there in the back. It's the 6 of Christian Coffee. Ends up going around. Caution is out on the speedway. No, actually, that is Evers. Alex Evers in the 12. He goes around. We'll take a look kind of what happened right here on the instant replay. He just stepped on the brake a little too much, or hell, he set it in there, and then he just, bam, slid right up a track. Might have hit the crack right there, the seam in the racetrack right there, Hamish, spun around. That track might actually still be a little bit wet.
It very well may still be a little bit wet, Jake, and we'll try and see what it looks like overhead as well of what's actually occurred to Alex down here at turn 1. So comes in very hot. Obviously, they're a little bit antsy after waiting on the start line for so long. You saw their Ryder Poe just changing lanes on the entry to the corner. That might have spooked him a little bit. But yeah, just a little bit too much pace dragged in there for Alex. And unfortunately, he's going to have to try and bring that car back into pit lane. So pace truck should pick up the field. Ricardo Bernal is the race leader. So I don't think no one's come down pit road. Where is the pace truck? Because they look like they're just rolling around at the moment without an idea of where they need to be. So this is very odd. Wyatt Blair is the race leader. Hopefully the pace truck does actually pick them up. We've seen previously in other series, Jake, there's sometimes some little... There it is right there, finally. Okay, it is going to pick them up. So Velez Moro, who actually had to jump back to pit lane on lap 1, will get a wave around here because he is ahead of the whole field. Everyone else then line up in behind the pace truck and we'll get this race restarted once again. It's almost a little bit of an anticlimactic race start, isn't it, Jake? Because they've waited so long, thanks to the weather updates that were coming in. You get going in the end of lap 1, we get a yellow flag out there. So, or not even the end of lap 1, the start of lap 1, we get a yellow flag. So that's a little bit anticlimactic for the drivers, but no, it does mean that they'll reset once again, and hopefully we'll restack them and get going nice and long for a good green flag run here in stage 1.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully we'll be able to re-rack them, restack them, and kick it right back off here for the race. Remember, I mean, obviously, Hamish, you talked about the stages and everything that we got going on here tonight, all the way for that 142 like you were talking about. And real quick, can't forget about the title sponsor of the race. I mean, literally, it's the lobster. Literally. I mean, that's what they give out here. They literally, the damn trophy, well, they really actually have a plaque, an actual plaque trophy somehow, some way. But then you do get a lobster. Forewarn y'all, just let y'all know, yes, the claws are held together, so they're not going to go out there and try to clamp anybody any way, safe, fashion, or form. They do get one fast repair here tonight. 80% on the fuel, so it's about a 60 lapper, give or take, as far as that goes. And for the Lobster 150 here tonight, we'll see if they can straighten them back out. As here we go, pace car is back off. Blair, Bernal, right up there where they started. Pretty much whole top 6. That is exactly where they started, is exactly where they run. They'll send it off back into turn number 1. Will they be able to make it through 1 and 2? Looks like they should be able to make it. Blair got a wheel out in front. Now battle for second is Bernal, and it's Aiden Morris working their way down the backstretch. We're going into turn 3 to complete lap 5.
As they come around 3 and 4, you see them just scrambling a little bit on the apron. There was the previous race leader, Wyatt Blair, who's actually dropping positions and is coming into pit lane. I think he has a black flag for a jump start.
Oh, wow.
So Wyatt Blair is going to go very, very far back. Shouldn't go a lap down thanks to a drive-through, but will be right off the tail of the field. Lifting himself going again. Bernal now the race leader up towards turn 3 with McCullough, Morris, Dean, Mason. That's the top 5 as they race around 3 and 4 once again here, Jake. But that is not what Wyatt Blair wanted. He's only just exiting pit lane, so he's only just going to be still on the lead lap. And that's the gap that he's got up to the race leader.
Yeah, but he's still got to get to the end of that stage. If he can get to the end of stage 1, either that or get a caution, he may be able to slide right back up there. So he don't want to necessarily go a lap down. He can, and then he'd probably get the lucky dog with obviously Evers the first 1 lap down. So he kind of hopes that Wyatt Blair will show some of the speed that he has shown in qualifying and be able to keep himself at least on the lead lap. That way Evers can get the beneficiary and get that lucky dog. They're going all the way to 35, as Hamish mentioned. 35, 70, 142 will be the stages here tonight for Week 6 NASCAR Throttle Nation Series Lobster 150. Well, up front, though, McCullough up 3 spots. He'll take hold of the race lead. Bernal will go back to 2nd. Morris to 3rd. Kyle Dean's going to go to 4th. And Mason Ramirez is going to slide up there into 5th. Damn, look at the send right there by Bernal. Had to jump on the brakes. He was going to run McCullough over and knock him sideways, but he's going to lose a lot of ground. Already half a second lead now for McCullough. He's trying to pull away.
Starts to build that gap now. The issue is going to be if McCullough pushes too early here, these tyres are going to wear away very, very quickly. You've got to be able to save your tyres around here in New Hampshire. They will burn away so fast. I have heard theories and rumours, Jake, that the tarmac actually has pieces of lobster claw put into it, and that's why the tyres wear away. Of course, that could only just be maybe a little bit of an old wives' tale possibly about New Hampshire. But yeah, for McCullough, pushing too early, yes, you can build up some good gap. Yes, you can build up a gap that might seem unattainable, but you'll wear your tyres and your stuff away so fast, and you've got to be able to save it here. And the issue for him is the cars behind him will be saving it. If we get a caution, let's say in the next 10 laps, he is going to be ripe and ready for those drivers to sink their teeth into, because he's not going to be able to hold them off with worn away tyres.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit of history, everybody knows, well, I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm kind of a history buff. I like to kind of know some history about these racetracks and everything. This place was actually Briar Motorsports Park. It actually opened back in 1965, that is. But then it was New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It's when it opened back in 1990, 35 years ago, damn near to the day, June 15th, 1990. It's being on June the 10th. But they pretty much got anything you want right here. Your Cup Series, NASCAR Cup Series runs here. Craftsman's Truck Series runs here. Xfinity Series used to run here, or the O'Reilly Series, if you want to put it that way. But also, IndyCar has ran here as well. So this place has shown a lot of different series. You see Ryder Poe and Mason Ramirez now going after Bernal right there for the next or for that spot. But so many of them as well. I mean, this place has actually got a damn road course in it as well that they use here as well. So crazy stuff. And then obviously the Whelen Tour Modifieds or the open wheel Modifieds, the one where we always see up there at Bowman Gray with the all that crazy stuff. They run here as well. And cool thing about this though, Hamish, is that usually when the open wheel Modifieds, when they end up running here, it's usually on NASCAR weekend. So the fans actually get some extra racing out of it. So that's always good, for the fans when you're able to get as much racing as possible when you're out there for the weekend.
No, that's right. And you mentioned the road course. It's actually quite an interesting road course. It doesn't, obviously, there's not a big enough infield for them to have a regular oval, let's say like the likes of Daytona, Vegas, Charlotte, even Homestead, Miami. It's actually an exterior road course, so you actually exit just to the right of circuit. Right there, you see the two driveways. That's where you exit and enter the course when you're actually running that road course. It runs out and into the field and then back in again onto the oval. It's a very interesting road course, very difficult. Good for your slower paced cars like your GR86s, MX5s, and even BMW M2s. I don't know how the NASCAR Cup cars or even the O'Reilly cars would do on the road course. So it'd be very interesting to see how it actually pan out. But it is a interesting road course. That's probably the most eclectic oval road course I've ever seen out of any of them. We know at the moment though, McCullough leads the way very strong ahead of Morris and Dean. Bernal, I think, is saving his stuff right now. He's given up a couple of spots. He's not given up too much time. He looked to be under pressure from Poe. But I believe he's just saving his stuff right now, Jake. I think he's playing the long game, the smart game, and he's just trying to keep this car under him to push ahead and push on. There you see McConnell at the back of this pack. He's currently sitting in behind them. A lap down on the race leaders, but he's still sitting strong. And then, yes, we have Ryder Poe up there as well. But right now it is McCullough who controls the field as he runs away from Morris. But the question is, will he run out of tyres as Velez Moto has gone off the road and into the wall, but no caution has been thrown, because he's not been stopped on the racing surface here, Jake, as he gets it back underway.
Yeah, he's able to get it back going, so we will stay green here tonight. So far, lap 17 of 142. They click off pretty fast here. Hey, 30 seconds a lap, give or take. That's what they're running. Now they're actually running 31, so like you talked about the tires, the best laps was in the 30.3s, 30.5s. Now they're all the way down to 31 1s, 31 6s, 31 4s. Damn near a whole second already in the short amount of time that we've raced here. And Hamish, the reason why, these guys are literally dropping as far as the speed and the lap times goes could be like you were talking about, like Ryder Poe and others, just kind of just biding their time, waiting, saving tires. Or it could be these corners is very, very sharp. I mean, and there is no banking. I mean, there is. I mean, it's 2 to 7 degrees, but still, that ain't nothing like we would get when we go to Texas or we go to Kansas, which is where we're going to be next week. You go to these other tracks, it's banked up all, kinds of, get out. You have a little bit of give on the tires. Here, you're going straight into a flat corner, more or less, to have to try to keep it down and carry speed and get the back end to turn and all that. So that's why we're seeing these times kind of drop a little bit, even with a cool track and cool air and the fog and everything else that we got going on. This place is flat. It's hard to drive on, and it's hard to kind of get maneuvered around, and it's really hard to save your tires. But we'll see how these old boys does it right now. I mean, like I said, they've already dropped off about a second as far as the fastest lap goes.
No, that's right. And I suppose one other factor is as well, Jake, is they have 4 sets of tyres available to them tonight. So you could really run this race out to be 25 lap stint, or actually be more than that, about 35 lap stints. roughly all throughout the race. So you go to the end of stage 1, you take a set of tyres. You go to the end of stage 2, you take a set of tyres. And then maybe you split your last stage in half. We mentioned the fuel, they can only go 60 laps. So it'll be interesting in how they actually balance out their strategies across the evening. It should be a 3-stopper to the end of this one. You go to each stage end, and then you need a little splash to get to the end of the race. Now, cautions could have a part to play in that, obviously, off of the end of stage 2. If we get at least 5 cautions, the car will make it home on its fuel, because you'll save 2 laps of fuel every single caution. But then you are playing that risky game of, well, can your tyres last that long and go 70 laps on a set of rubber? Your fuel may be able to make it that far. I don't think your tyres are going to make it that far necessarily. So planning and strategizing around that is going to be key. I think if you get a caution prior to the stage end, you may as well come in, take some fuel, take some tyres, and maybe just stay out on the stage break, because you could then get some good track position for the restart. You're not going to go a lap down pitting under yellow. And that could just be the other, let's throw a little spanner in the works. Let's go for an alternate strategy and just see how that pans out for you. I think if you're at the front of the field, maybe you don't play that strategy. Maybe you just play this simple game and go to the stage end. But if you want to make up for some free spots at stage's end, it might be a sound one to go for, just pitting offset a little bit to the rest of the field.
Yeah, I mean, so many strategies that you can try to pull here, to try to get some stage points, try to win the race. So many different types of ways that you can try to make it work. So we see a battle going on right here a little bit. Oh, Dean, it's Aiden Morris. They're going for the second spot. They're like Dean up on the top side, able to get that kind of little bit of progressive banking. He's able to get the run right there on the outside. Morris kind of pinned down on the bottom where it's more flatter. And we saw, I believe it was McCullough, or it might have been Bernal. I think it was McCullough getting down on the apron, having the right sides up actually on the racetrack and literally straddling the line that separates the track from the apron right there with the blue and white line. That is normal to see that happen here at New Hampshire. It kind of helps the back end kind of turn, because usually when you clip the apron and you straddle that line, it does kind of make the car just a little bit unsettling, and it does help the car rotate a little bit. So not uncommon to see drivers do that. And some of them may actually try it right here as well, where the flat part is on the bottom and then the progressive part where it comes up, kind of straddle that seam to try to get the back end to kind of rotate a little bit, help them turn, because it's like I said, Hamish, this place is flat. You try to get every advantage that you can. As McCullough right now, the fastest 5-lap average currently up front, and by a damn good margin right there, 0.2 of a second. Hilliard now sitting second as far as that goes, but he is 7th in the running order. And then Dean, Mason Ramirez, and Ryder Poe right there, that's the fastest 5-lap average guys. But McCullough up at the top and by a huge margin.
He is indeed. And we should mention as well, obviously, Stephen Hilliard, the eyes of focus of controversy last week off of the last round of the season there at Talladega last week as well. But will say that after everything that happened last week, things have been patched up. They've been repaired between himself and Wyatt Blair. Very cordial about what happened last week as well. I know that we were very vocal about it, of course, Jake. But it's great to hear that both drivers have managed to work it out. They've had a conversation. And for Stephen, I know that he also personally apologised to the whole field prior to tonight's race. So fair play to Stephen Hilliard for admitting what maybe shouldn't have been the choice that he made last week. And hopefully now this is going to be an uphill run for him going forward as well. But you see at the moment he's P7. He's doing fairly well, just keeping his car nice and tidy. Hopefully for his sake he can get a good finish out of tonight's race.
Well, as far as you know, as far as we know, everything is all good and everything.
The information I've been told. That's the information.
Well, yeah, I mean, we go by what the information is and everything, but actions speak louder than words. I'm not saying that we're going to see something crazy here tonight, but still. I mean, obviously it's great, for apologizing, apologies and all that stuff happen to try to get it straightened out, as we're getting some damn near door banging right here between Morris and Dane, still going for the second spot. They're slugging it out, and McCullough's gone, like 6 seconds. He is gone from the second place battle that you're seeing on your screen. But I will be curious just for the hell of it, Hamish, I will be curious to see what will happen when White Blair does get around here. I'm curious kind of see how that, kind of plays out. Apologies, all that good stuff, it is what it is, but it will be interesting.
You want to ring the bell, don't you, Jake? You want to ring the bell so badly, don't you?
I mean, I could have already, but I mean, but I'm not going to. But yeah, I mean, we all love a little bit of beef, every now and again. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully, they get it straightened out. We get to some good, hard, clean racing, and no harm, no foul. But Hamish, I've been a racer before, as well. I know how it is. People apologize and everything, but you still got it in the back of your mind, like you still want to pay them back. So
yeah.
We'll see. I'm not saying it'll happen. I'm not trying to get no controversy started or nothing like that. It's just I know how a racer thinks because I've been one myself, and I know how I would think in situations like that.
Oh, no, I'm the same. But, it comes down to how willing are you going to be just to push on and just keep it nice and tidy. And hopefully for their sake, that is going to be their route that they take. Right at the moment, just tucked up in behind Racer Ramirez. Racer Mason had some good pace early in this one here. Just seems to be dropping off a little bit. I think the tyres are just starting to wear away now. We've got a couple of laps before we get to the stage end. Great to have you all out there watching along with us as well in the chat. We appreciate your patience in our delayed start tonight as well. And we do apologise for the delayed start too. The weather gods obviously had a plan for us this evening and meant that we had to start that a little bit later. So we do humbly apologise. We are nearly at a fifth of the way through just about. As it's lap 33 of 142. Wyatt McCullough looks to have the stage win wrapped up pretty much, Jake, with 2 laps left. And a good solid 6-second gap over the car in behind him. He's managed to run this car well. He's actually managed to run good pace, but actually has saved his stuff quite well at this stage of the race, Jake. I'm interested to see what his long run is going to be like later on when we get to stage 3 and whether he's going to have a similar amount of aggressiveness and a similar amount of pace come that final 70 laps, because he can run 35 laps fast. Can he run 70 laps fast? That is going to be the question that'll get answered later in this race as we get to lap 35, final lap of the stage. And McCullough pretty much has it wrapped up in a tight little bow here, Jake, as he's done well here in stage 1.
Yeah, he's done fantastic. I mean, and the damn gap is still growing. It's almost 7 seconds right now over Aiden Morris. Dean has actually separated himself from Morris because Morris was able to get around him. And now that is pretty much settled in. Couple of battles still going on, but there ain't gonna be no raining on Wyatt McCullough's parade. Comes off turn 4. Guess what? Stage 1 winner, Wyatt V. McCullough in the 112 Ford. Gets it done. Everybody else starting to shoot across the line. We will wait on that caution. The only one that's actually gonna get screwed out of this is Alex Evers. He brought out the very first caution, and there it is. As Belize Moreau is the lucky dog in this instance. White Blair actually able to get lucky and stay on that lead lap. So that's going to help him out as well. But Belize Moreau is going to be the lucky dog, ironically enough. Look who he's right behind, Wyatt McCullough. So, Alex Evers has got to be a little bit upset about that. But we will get cautions. That's how short tracks is. It is what it is on that. So, McCullough gets the stage 1 win. Belize Moreau will get the lucky dog. And obviously they're coming in, Hamish, I would think, right here for 4 tires.
You would assume so.
And everything.
Yeah, you would assume so. I mean, there'd be no worth staying out at this point. If you were to stay out, you're only going to be hurting yourself because everyone's going to be on fresh tires. We know how badly the tires can wear away here. As the race leader will come in. Moreau will stay out to get his lucky dog, and then he'll come into pit lane. McConnell's going to stay out. Interesting strategy play from him, maybe to get a lap back here. Hilliard's going to stay out, though. That's an interesting call. I think he's going to try and go to the fuel end, but I don't know if he's going to have the tyres under him to hang on to that. He could have been saving, though, in stage 1. I mean, he wasn't running super fast lap times, didn't look to be ultra aggressive when he was running. So he could have been trying to save his stuff. Evers is going to stay out as well. Could be an interesting strategy here, Jake. I think the onus is still going to go, though, to those fresh tyre runners. The tyre advantage they are going to get here is going to be huge, as McCullough will exit pit road first and foremost, then Dean, then Bernal has jumped Morris in pit lane. Ryder Poe has jumped Mason Ramirez, who's still in, and actually in for an extended time because I believe he actually has a black flag, so he's actually having to serve a stop hold for an unsafe pit entry. So Hilliard will be the corrected race leader. This is going to be an interesting one to see how this strategy plays out. He's going to come in now. So he comes in a lap later than the rest of the field. I don't know about that call, Jake. I mean, I suppose he's not going to give up much time, but he probably gave up a lot of time under the pace car, running under a slower pace than what everyone else is trying to chase down that pace car right now. So I don't know if he really got much gain out of that.
Well, maybe, maybe not. I mean, he did come out out of that leading a lap. So obviously bonus points to Hilliard in that instance. He might have saw that, maybe this is an opportunity to go ahead and stay out, go ahead and lead a lap, get some bonus points, because nothing against him, but, McCullough's up there waxing everybody's tail right now. So maybe he's sitting there thinking, okay, let's just go ahead and let's lead us a lap. Let's get some bonus points, and then we'll send ourselves back out there.
There's another issue, though, now, as we get ready for the restart zone. He's now got a black flag because he's actually entered a closed pit lane, so he'll have to drive through pit road, or he's been given an ELL. It's one of the two. I think it might be an ELL penalty for entering a closed pit road. We'll see what happens on the restart here, though, Jake, as we get ready for it.
Yeah, we're getting ready for it. Back at it here tonight at New Hampshire. We'll see what happens. Send it off into turn one. A couple of them lagging back right here at the start, but McCullough had a shot on Morris, took it, and sent it. McCullough, stage one winner. He'll jump back out to the front. Bernal will slide into the second spot. Morris down in third. Blair back up to fourth. And Ryder Poe's going to sit in the fifth spot as they work their way around the Magic Mile. That's what they call it. You see it right there on the wall, right there in front of you, right here on the Motormouth broadcasted. Magic Mile, that's what they call it. It is magic when these drivers work their way around this 1 mile oval. And McCullough is showing a little bit of magic as well right here. Pulling a rabbit out of the hat or what have you. He's showing a lot of magic here tonight, trying to see if he gets the win. But Bernal's now going to try to stay with him right here. We'll see what happens.
Well, we'll see if it's going to take a bit of an abracadabra to try and hang on to this race lead, or if perhaps he's even going to shuffle his way further up the road. But for Bernal, he wants to hang with him. We saw that McCullough had a great run, though, for those 35 laps. So he ran very, very strong. We're doing less laps technically under green this time because we didn't get back to green running until lap, I believe it was lap 38 or 39. So that means that they're actually going to be running less laps in this second stage than they run in stage one. So he doesn't need to run as long as what he previously has. So it should mean he can go that little bit faster, a little bit harder, but he doesn't want to go too hard too early here, Jake, because he will wear the tyres away from him. There you see Wyatt Blair. He's done well to get back up into P3, probably helped by some black flags. They dropped a few drivers lower down the order. No one took right sides. Everyone took a full set of tyres, which of course you may as well do. It's a safety car stop. You might as well take a full set. Oh, yeah. But for Blair, he's obviously got good pace. He started on the front road tonight, had an unfortunate black flag thanks to a jump restart earlier in the race off the first caution. But right now he's got Aiden Morris and Ryder Poe chasing him down. Mason Ramirez as well. Hilliard did manage to get that black flag cleared thanks to the end of line. So he is still running strong. But McCullough controls the field as this close battle for P3 continues on.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely continue it on and going for it is what they're doing. Is there you see the 71 working his way around the racetrack. We talked about him as well with what he had going on as well. Ryder Poe sends it off of turn number 4, spins it around, caution is out. Just lost it all on his own. May have had some help from behind by Kyle Dean. See it on the instant replay. Was there contact, or did he just lose it all on his own?
It was.
Hell yeah, there was contact. But Dean was already getting sideways on the inside a little bit and kind of got loose, slid up into him, tagged him in the left rear, sends Ryder Poe around it. Ryder hit the wall a ton on that inside. It didn't look like that much, but I mean, Hamish, when we go to these short tracks like New Hampshire, obviously here tonight, high speeds, all that good stuff, high RPMs, I should say, it just kicks that engine up just a little bit too much. Got to be careful. He may have to burn a faster pair here early because you don't want to have those high RPMs, especially when the whole front end's caved in like that. You can run into some serious issues and blow engines.
Well, we'll see if Ryder Poe can get back into this now, Jake. We saw what happened with Dean. It was the smallest wiggle, but then saw him try and correct it, and it's unfortunate contact. I'm sure that, Ryder wouldn't be happy with that moment, but ultimately I think, yes, it would be a incident that could be worth a penalty, but it wasn't an egregious moment for Kyle Dean. That is simply just a small mistake, a little bit of contact, a little bit of self-clearing. And yeah, for Dean, I mean, we can't really hold much against him there. He's trying to save his car, and then contact's made. So it's a tough moment for him. Ryder Poe will go back to the end of the line, interestingly enough, but I think that's just him trying to slow up a little bit now. Would have been interesting if we actually saw anyone pit at this point, but I suppose it wouldn't be much worth it, would there? You'd only be 10 laps older on the tyres. You might as well save a set for the end of the race. Can maybe top it off with fuel, though, at this point, if you're further back down the order, Jake, and offset yourself slightly, maybe shorten your pit stop for the next run into pit road, but you're always going to take 4 tyres in the next stop, so it's always going to be a 14-second stop, isn't it? As the race leader is going to try and bait them to come into pit road. No one's going to bite onto that bit of bait, but yeah, an interesting moment between them. We'll see if they can keep it neat and tidy now for the rest of this stage.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do right here as well. McCullough tried that. I mean, obviously, and I will say this, Habis, there has been a lot of people that don't like that, what McCullough just did right there. I don't see nothing wrong with what he did.
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's other people, they have said, where they get down and they're acting like that they're going in, and then everybody goes, oh, well, okay, and they start gassing up and trying to go around them thinking that they're going to pit, and all of a sudden they fake out and they come back up, and then people end up getting door banged or getting slammed, or some of them even get spun out. So people has griped about that before, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean it's nothing egregious, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing stupid. It's just one of those things that you have that advantage. You are the leader. It's just like this restart, which we're fixing to have. Anytime inside that restart box, he can go. He has that advantage to do that. And McCullough even stacked it up right there a little bit. Bernal thought about sending it, not able to do it. And check out Wyatt Blair, your pole sitter, jumped the start earlier. Here he comes back. This is not what Wyatt McCullough wanted to see. He did not want Wyatt Blair get a battle of the Wyatts going on right here at the front. We need a Wyatt Earp somewhere in the middle of this, try to get this battle going, but McCullough tried to get away. Blair and Bernal, they're going to go for second.
Yeah, we'll see how this pans out for them. I suppose the thing you could fix with fading pit lane entry, Jake, is you make a rule that there is a commitment line on the circuit, and you say, well, if you are at this line and you're on the pit entry, you must go in. You cannot fake and come back out again. Whereas that might actually fix some of the issues if drivers have issues with feigning the entry to pit lane. You can see that Blair and Bernal, though, still side by side. The issue for Bernal is the longer he runs on that outside line, the worse the tyres are going to get as he runs it wide. Nearly scrapes the wall up at turn 3. This is going to drop him time now, and it's going to hurt those tyres. Blair just has to park that car on the inside, force Bernal high, and that should continue to run the tyres down as he now has to reset and reapproach how he's going to attack Ricardo Bernal in P2. Watch for Kyle Dean behind him as well. He's trying to hang on to the rear of him at this stage as well. They're doing a fantastic effort just to try and hang on here, Jake, as we get up towards lap 52. We're going to have 24 laps to go here. Oh, sorry, no, even less than that. 18 laps to go here in stage number 2. So running it out towards lap 70. I'm still interested to see what that final stage is going to be like, Jake. That long run, who is going to have the best pace of a lot of them on the long run? Who's going to be able to save their stuff the best? And who's going to strategize it correctly? For my money, I think the best strategy is going to be run it maybe 35, 40 laps and then come into pit road. I don't think you want to be running out the full 60 because the tyres are going to start to wear away so quickly. Even if you can make 60 laps on fuel, I don't know if there's much worth in it running that long under a full green flag run in that final stage.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be basically split it right down the middle. So more or less, I mean, you're running 2 stage ones, if you want to put it that way, or 2 stage twos. I mean, that's pretty much all that you're going to get out of it. But, a lot can happen, because if it does run green, then you start getting into green flag pit stops. And this place is not easy to get on pit road. We've seen numerous issues with drivers in the past have issues, real life and in sim racing, at least I have, with issues coming down on this pit road and trying to make it work, because it does get a little bit slippery down there on that apron. Like I talked about, being able to get that car to turn, you're still sliding a little bit down there on the apron, so you got to be careful when you do that. McCullough's still with the lead, got about a second gap now over Bernal. And Blair's sitting right there in the 3rd spot. He took a shot at Bernal. Bernal said, not today. I'll hold right on to that 2nd spot. Dean and Morris still holding on to 4th and 5th. And everybody kind of starting to get a little bit spread out right here. So, I mean, Hamish, unless Bernal or Blair's got something they've been saving, they may want to try to hurry up and get up here with McCullough. And possibly they are saving. They don't want to show how fast they really are right now, because they might want to try to catch McCullough sleeping a little bit right there when we get to that final stage.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, they know that ultimately you got to try and get to the end of this race. But you can see even Morris is struggling on the outside line. We were chatting to Mason Ramirez pre-race, and he was saying to us that even Aiden was struggling to save his stuff here tonight. So if Aiden Morris is struggling with it, who has become known as one of the better savers in the entire field, if he's struggling to save it, how much are the other drivers struggling out there? Because he's just trying to hang on to things right now, keep it nice and clean. And again, that is going to be the money stage at the end of this race. That final stage, you've got to plan it correctly. The mid stage, yes, you can run strong, get yourself some good stage points and push on, and they're probably happy just to let McCullough run away with it at the moment. They won't be willing to do that, though, for the final 70 laps of this race, as Morris is just starting to encroach now on the back of Kyle Dean, put some pressure on him there. You see Blair and Bernal battling away once again. And this is P2 all the way back to P5. Then you've got another further 0.9 seconds back to P6 in Mason Ramirez, and then another half second back to Hilliard in P7. So it's a tight battle for the final podium positions here in Stage 2. But again, saving. How much can you do it? How much can you save? And can you push on for those final 70 laps of this race and keep your stuff clean for the run home to the checkered flag?
Yeah, I mean, can you do it? That's going to be the big factor out of this. And a lot of these drivers, obviously, they've been putting down practice laps throughout the week. And that's another cool thing, obviously, about sim racing, is that you can just, all you got to do is turn your computer on, slide right in there, go out there. You can put some laps down. You can do it whatever you want to. So I'm sure these drivers have been practicing a lot. I'm sure McCullough has. And if they've been able to learn a little something over the past week, that's the thing, though. Havers is like last week, you talked about it with Talladega last week. Not a lot of people practice Talladega. I mean, nothing against it. I love Talladega, but nobody really worries about Talladega that much. It's all about holding it to the floor, knowing how to buck draft, and trying to miss the big one. So a lot of drivers might actually look at this as 2 weeks of practice here at New Hampshire. Just screw Talladega. We won't worry about it. We'll just go ahead and think 2 weeks ahead and get out here and start practicing for New Hampshire. So possibly 2 weeks of practice is what we're seeing right here, especially with McCullough, who's now already opened it up to 2 seconds over Ricardo Bernal.
Well, then, there's also the thing about you've got Kansas coming up next week before the summer break as well. That takes a little bit of preparation, understanding where you need to save for Kansas, where you need to lift and stuff like that too. So if those drivers didn't practice for Talladega, because as you said, Jacob, Talladega is really just a crapshoot. You're throwing the dice and hoping that you're going to land it. For New Hampshire and Kansas, it is going to take some good preparation to get prepped and ready for those circuits and have a good amount of pace at both of them as well. So I think those that, I think McCullough probably used his time wisely, practiced here for New Hampshire, probably did a bit of practice as well for Kansas next week, and, just got himself rearing and ready to go for the next race of the season as well. So planning ahead, knowing that preparation, that would be one of the keys to success here this season for these drivers. We've got around about 8 laps to go here in Stage 2. It's all being led by McCullough here tonight, who wants to go Picture perfect here at New Hampshire as he leads the way by 2 seconds over Ricardo Bernal. Kyle Dean, though, is just starting to put the pressure now on Wyatt Blair for P3 as Bernal's began to build up a little bit of gap in P2 ahead of them as well.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, we were talking about the practice and everything else. And, folks, I don't want to say anything bad about Talladega. Like I said, I love that place. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but I actually had engagement pictures with my wife before we got married. We actually had engagement pictures took at Talladega. No joke on that. We actually got on the track and everything. That's beside it. That's a different story. That's a story for possibly the door banging download later on. Spotify, Apple Podcast, my podcast. If you get a chance to check it out. That's a shameless plug on that. But here's the battle that's going on. You got Blair, you got Dean. Morris not too far back from this. Bernal just up the road just a piece, about a second. Then 2 seconds ahead of him is Wyatt McCullough just straight up rolling. With 7 laps, now 6 laps to go when they come by and they hit the line this time. But the battle is on for third. Hamish, we've talked about this time and time again. It seems like these guys, usually the lead, it's a good battle. Second, it's a pretty good battle. The third place battle is usually where all hell ends up breaking loose. I'm not sure if it's just them guys driving that hard because they want to thank their sponsors, or if they want to come up here and talk to us. I haven't figured out which one of them it is, to be honest with you, but surely there is a reason as Dean finds a hole, jumps up top, not able to do it. Blair is literally driving out his damn mirror around here at New Hampshire, trying to keep Dean back there as much as he can.
Oh, he is pushing hard here to hold on to this final podium position here in stage 2. Kyle Dean all over him, but they've got to be careful because now they're allowing Aidan Morris to get up onto the back of them as well and putting the pressure on Dean. Is Morris in the 58 race winner already this season. Both of those drivers. Dean is currently sitting on a 2-in-a-row run. Won the last 2 races of the season. Wants to get himself a turkey here tonight and go 3 from 3 over the last 3 weeks. Could Dean do it? He's going to have to find something in stage 3 if he wants to make that happen. As Morris is now just dropping off the back of this battle as well. This is going to be an exciting run to the end of this race here, Jake, because it's going to be a race of strategy, a race of saving, but right now there's no thoughts of saving. They're pushing on us. He's scraping the door. Is Dean ahead of Morris? And now it's time to start to put your plan together. Know when you want to go. Know when you want to hold. And now's the time to push because you've got 3 laps until the end of stage 2. And final podium positions on the line between Blair, Dean, and Morris as they battle away.
Yeah, Blair tried to hold it down. Dean right there behind him. Morris right there as well. McCullough now 3 seconds ahead and 2 seconds ahead of this battle. For the third spot is obviously Ricardo Bernal. You saw him just for a second squirt away right there. You see him barely right up there at the top. But everybody's eyes right here with 2 to go is the battle for the third spot. Blair's got it. Dean and Morris want it. Mason Ramirez not too far back, a couple of seconds back. If something goes haywire, he may have a shot. Dean takes a shot, jumps down to the inside. Blair gets sideways off of turn 2. Dean right behind him, looks top, looks bottom. Damn, you would think they are racing for the lead and the win, but this is just for stage number 2 at the end, and Blair gets kicked to the side. Morris finds a hole down on the inside. We are in the last lap here of stage number 2, but Kyle Dean finally finds a hole, slides around him the best that he can. He'll hold on to the third spot. Blair gets kicked back to 4th, Morris to 5th. Lap traffic rider Poe is ahead. Wyatt McCullough going to try to go for the sweep here tonight. Wyatt Blair, 112, won stage 1, and he's going to slide right across the line. He is going to win stage 2 as well. Wyatt McCullough putting on a clinic here tonight, leading the most laps so far, I would at least think, at least from what we've been seeing. He's led the most laps. He's trying to win all the stages. He's trying to put a straight-up sweep when we get to the results page.
Well, Alex Evers would have been sweating then, Jake, because he missed out on the lucky dog at the caution break for the last stage. Ryder Poe was literally probably only a lap away from getting lapped by McCullough. That would have knocked Evers out of the lucky dog once again. So, stage 1 and 2 winner for McCullough. He sweeps the stages. Can he sweep the event? Can he go on to win this race in the 112 Mustang? as well. We'll wait for pit lane to light up once again with the second stop here in this race. As in the stage, it was Bernal who finished out P2 ahead of Dean, Blair, Morris the top 5, Ramirez, Hilliard, and it was Baines behind with Velez Morrow. Ryder Poe the top 10 for stage number 2.
And as they work their way around, they catch the pace car. Everybody jumps down. It's going to take 4 tires and fuel. At least I would think. Doesn't look like anybody's going to stay out. Ryder Poe's just now starting to catch back up to the back of the field, and Ryder Poe obviously will take his opportunity when he catches back up. He was right there in front of the leader. You talked about that a second ago, Hamish. He was right there in front of the leader. Evers is going to get that lucky dog and get himself back on the lead lap and have a shot to try to see if he can correct what happened at the first part of the race and see what happens as they work their way off of pit road. He's going to beat them all out. Guess who? It is White v. McCullough. I tell you what, let's see if we can find Mr. McCullough. Is he in any of the chats? I'll be damned if he ain't. Right there he is. White v. McCullough, will bring him on up here real quick. And White, baby, you get you a stage 1 and a stage 2 win. Are we saving? What are we thinking right here? Have we got something right here for the stage 3 to try to sweep the stages, buddy?
Brother, there's no saving. We're going to go straight to the win.
Oh, gotta love it. Hey, but you get anything for White?
For White, obviously, you've had great pace over those roughly 35-ish lap runs in the first 2 stages. Have you got a similar level of pace for the longer runs at the end of this race now, or are you worried that cars behind you are going to have better long-run pace than you may have across the next 70 laps?
I mean, obviously, I'm going to take them in consideration. They're right behind me. But I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, run the same line, try to stay consistent.
Sounds like a plan right there for White McCullough. We'll see what he can do, buddy. Congratulations on stage 1, stage 2, and see if you can go for the sweep, bud.
Thank you.
That was White McCullough. We'll send him back on down, obviously, for the Racing Mason Motorsports comms. That's what they got right here for this Discord and everything else. So send him back down there as well. Hey, guess what? I looked down here just for a second, Hamish, and I found Valise Moreau. His first name is actually Joel. Okay, so it is Joel Valise Moreau. As we're back under green now. It kind of threw me off there for a second. I looked and I was like, damn, there it is. And then bam, we're back green. Threw me off. Stage 3 back underway. Oh, yeah, we got a couple of them back there in the wall. Bernal almost hit the wall as well. There's the 14 of Dagan Barnes. He gets up into the wall and sends it a little bit too hard. But McCullough tried to hold it down on the inside. Dean tried to go after Bernal. They're looking 3 wide. Hot damn, they will go 3 wide down the front stretch here at New Hampshire.
Oh, you wouldn't think. Oh, getting it loose like Carl Dean. Carl Dean gets it loose into turn 3. There's the caution. That could have been very, very ugly for Kyle Dean. Let's watch this back here for this first lap of the final stage of the race here. So the first name we go to is Dagan Barnes. He was the car that we saw up in the wall at turn 1-2 in that 14. So let's watch this back. So we get back to green flag running. As we enter up towards turn 1-2, Hilliard on his outside. Here's Barnes on the inside. Ramirez just ahead of him. And you see rear end gets loose, up high, contact, and then into the wall. And then this was Kyle Dean in a wild ride up towards turn 3 and turn 4.
Yeah, see if there was contact or did he just straight up, yeah, he just snapped loose. He got sideways right here, slides up. This is when they went 3 wide. Blair sends it on the bottom side, Bernal up top. And see if there was contact. Yeah, he just said it. Locked up the back tires. Maybe, well, obviously, I mean, we talked about this as well. These guys running fixed setups. So it's pretty much whatever iRacing hands you, you're pretty much stuck with it. You can't really change anything. You can change certain things. You can change the steering ratio, however you want it. You can make it as tight as you want to or as loose as you want it. You can change the steering offset, and you can change the brake bias. You can go up and down. You can go up and down on that during the race. Possibly with how this track is, as Evers is going to get back on the lead lap. He was the lucky dog the last time around, and somehow or another he ended up going back a lap down. But the brake bias is a very, very key factor here. If you go down on it too much, it will get you a little bit looser, and you can turn it into the corner a little bit better. But you have a risk. If you step on it too much, back end will come around. Obviously, if you go up, you get a little bit tighter going in, and then you can adjust it to a certain extent up or down when you're racing. But you can do whatever the hell you want to when you're in the garage getting ready for the race. But those are the only three things that these drivers can adjust before we go green. And then obviously they can't adjust the steering ratio or the offset, but they can't adjust the brake bias. So I would think maybe his brake bias is a little bit on the low side. That's that fine line here at New Hampshire that you got to have, Hamish, is how low can you go? Literally, how low can you go on that brake bias to where it's stable enough and fast enough for you to work your way around here?
Well, that's right. And, you know, planning around that brake bias, knowing what steering rack you want as well, those are going to be key factors. And sometimes we'll find, especially in road racing, drivers will actually adjust their brake bias across the stint. I don't know how much they would be doing that here at New Hampshire, of course. As the car gets lighter, you can use a little bit more braking force to slow it up. More progressive braking is better when the car's heavier, but I think that could have just been a cold tyre scenario. Cold tyres, maybe a little bit of cold brain. We saw it happen earlier with Alex Evers on lap 1 of the race, and the same things happened then to Kyle Dean, almost a mirror image. We'll see what happens off this restart, if they can keep it nice and clean. We haven't had many cautions tonight. They've done well to keep it long green runs here out at New Hampshire.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job trying to keep it clean and green, but we're back at it. Couple of issues here and there, but it's usually what you get when you go short track racing. Anytime, not just with the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series, but anytime short track racing will make it interesting. Here we go. McCullough, who has been lights out here tonight, and the pole sitter that started it here tonight, even with the jump restart, had to start, or got a black flag, went all the way at the back, and has drove it all the way back to the front. But now he has got to go up against Wyatt McCullough, Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner. It's the battle on the Wyatts here tonight with the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series as McCullough goes up top, and Blair's going to send it on the bottom. New race leader for the moment. It's Wyatt Blair in the 5.
Oh, you see touching the wall there was McCullough off of turn 2, got it loose, and then just smacked the wall down the back stretch. So is McCullough struggling right now, or was everyone else saving? Is that the question? Because I have a feeling they may have been saving. They may have just been holding themselves nice and tidy, but McCullough is really struggling to keep that car under him right now. You saw him up in the wall. Penal goes up in the wall as well. What is happening with this 112 car? Why is this thing getting so loose off of turn 2 and turn 4? It's like it's gone completely backwards, Jake. It looks like a completely different car after being down pit road.
Yeah, I mean, completely different cars. Something amiss, obviously, on the 112 of Wyatt McCullough. But now he's going to try to fight hard, get back to that second spot, try to find his way around Bernal. Now Blair still holding on with the race lead, about 3/4 of a second up. McCullough now finding a way to get down on the inside, down to the settlement. Grab back some more shot for Grady as there goes Shaw. Felice Moreau spins it around, and caution is back out once again.
That's the second time he's done that off of turn 2. We saw him do it earlier on where it didn't lead to a caution. This time it has, because he slowed enough on the racing surface. So caution is out. I think we may see some pit stops here, Jake, because we are within 60 laps to the end. So we may see some drivers come down pit road, put some fuel in it. They may not take tyres. They may just take the splash of gas and then push on to the end and see if we get a late break caution to put on a full set of tyres at the end of this race, because right now this is the money stop. This is the money lap. You can get home from here. We'll see if anyone takes the risk and does it under yellow flag.
Yeah, we'll see if they decide to do it, if they so choose. Blair, no. Bernal, no. McCullough, yes. McCullough will go. Morris is going to go. Ramirez is going to go as well. Hilliard stays out. Looks like Poe, Evers, Barnes, and Felice Moreau they will jump on down pit road. Cody Swim in the 77 Spires Motorsports entry will stay out on the racetrack, obviously getting his lucky dog, and he'll get back on the lead lap, and they'll have 12 drivers on the lead lap as we get back ready for a restart here in a matter of moments. But half the field goes in, half the field decides to stay out right here. That is going to be iffy right there. They may actually try to stretch it the whole damn way right here, Hamish, to be able to try to make it all the way on gas. They just got to worry about their tires.
Well, all of them except for Alex Evers. Although Evers didn't actually take tyres in that stop, it was only fuel. They've all got a set available to them now to the end of this race. They've got one more set left. Now, Kyle Dean came in previously on lap 78. I think he can make it home because he'll save 2 laps over the last 2 cautions. So I think Kyle Dean is good to get home. The top 3 have got the question marker. The top 3 are the ones that we feel will need to pit. They need at least 3 more cautions to keep their fuel game in the window. The issue now is going to be, though, is how bad are these tyres? They're only 10 laps old in comparison to those that have just come down pit road. How much pressure is that going to put on them? Are they going to be able to hold on? And are the tyres going to be able to hold on as well? The one thing we know is, though, Jake, the rest of the field does not need to pit now to get home. They can remain out on circuit. So if there's a caution, let's say within the next 10 or 20 laps, the front 3 will come in, they'll take their fuel, they'll get home. The rest of the field may stay out. See if new tyres for the front 3 would help them if that caution does come about for them.
Yeah, that will be the interesting call, obviously, if a caution does come out. But if it doesn't, then those guys, if they can save enough tire, gas, not worried about it. Tires is going to be the premium on whether or not they can make it on those Goodyear Eagles. The pace car is off. We're back at it. Green flag back in the air. Woo, Blair actually jumped up on the top side right before the start-finish line. I'm not 100% sure on that one. May have to get with race directors on that one, but he went from the bottom and jumped up to the top lane before he got to the start-finish line. Hamish, I believe that could be a change in lanes violation and possibly a black flag. Not sure. He might have got away with one right there, but I've always been told if you change lanes, you might get busted right here. Watch it again. Watch Blair right here on the bottom of the racetrack, 71.5 on timing and scoring. Bernal up on the top side, and watch what happens. He gasses up, he carries on, and just slides right across the nose way before the start-finish line. I am curious about that. If we get another caution, I am very curious to bring in one of the admins, and very curious to ask them about that if Wyatt Blair's going to get busted for that.
Well, we know that he was the other end of the line of controversy last week, and obviously there were some frustrations that some drivers had with him last week as well. And I would understand if Bernal was frustrated off of that moment, because he has technically broken an iRacing. And it's not even just a league rule. That's actually an iRacing driving standards rule. You're not meant to be able to change lanes prior to the start-finish line. It actually goes against the driving code of conduct on iRacing. So for Blair, I think he very likely will get an EOL penalty because of that, because you cannot change lanes before you get to the start-finish line, no matter how good your race start is. The only time you're allowed to change lanes is if you are avoiding an incident. That is the only time that you're allowed to do that. So it'd be interesting to see what they do about it. We've got currently 52 laps left in this race. We'll see how well they do about it. Copycat saying let it go. I don't really know what you mean by let it go. We're just mentioning things that have happened previously. As Joel Velez-Moro has made a mistake down at turn 4. And we now got another caution. And I will just point this out. We're not having a go at anyone whenever we mention things that have happened. What we're doing is we're speaking about the narrative that has happened throughout this season. So we're not having a go at anyone that's been involved in controversies previously. We are not personally attacking them. We are mentioning the fact that there has been things that have happened. We're not putting it underneath the rug. We're being honest and open about it. That is what we're doing when we mention these things. We already mentioned the fact that we were happy with what Hilliard did. We're happy with what Wyatt Blair's done as well. and we're pointing out the fact that, yes, previously people have had issues with him. And I think for Wyatt, what he's just done is he's just breaking. He has just broken an iRacing code of conduct rule by changing lanes, and I think he is actually gone to the back of the field because of that. So I think he has actually received an end-of-line penalty because of that.
Yeah, I was curious about that. I'll tell you what, possibility if we may, not sure if he's actually fixing to make a pit stop, which I don't think he will, but Mason Ramirez, if we can get the opportunity to holler at him real quick, he usually kind of hangs out with us up here in the broadcast booth and just kind of gets an idea. He pretty much gets to hear us before, you know, I mean, he ain't even got to watch it live on the broadcast. Hell, he hears us right now. He hears the whole broadcast the whole time. Mason, buddy, real quick, buddy, you're looking pretty good right there. You're actually sitting in the top 5, so good running for you right now. But the White Blair incident, is that something that you made a decision on, or is that because it's like Hamish said, that is one of those iRacing code of conduct deals? Was that, you know, the reason why we see White Blair going to the back?
What's up, brother? How you guys doing up here in the booth? Yeah, after looking at the review, at the replay on the broadcast, thanks for showing that, of course, and talking with a few of my guys here at Throttle Nation. Yeah, he definitely went out. You can't change lanes before the restart zone, or sorry, before the start finish line. So that's the reason he got EOL. Talked with him about that, and he said that it actually benefited him.
Really? How so? I'm curious.
It meant he could pit for free.
He said he needed to pit, and he said it didn't really affect him.
Huh.
Well,
however it works out, I guess.
Right?
I suppose if you're pitting anyway and you've got an EOL, I suppose it wouldn't really hurt you, but I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure about benefit, but yeah.
I don't know about a benefit. You're in the back of the field. I don't know how much of a benefit that is. We'll see that when he does on the race. I appreciate the confirmation though. Jake, this will be interesting now because the top 2 cars have not come in. Bernal's trying to fuel save this thing to the end by getting enough cautions. He only needs 2 more to get there. Dean can make it, but will his tyres make it? That's the question. The rest of the field definitely can make it. We know they can. They pitted at the critical lap to get home. Let's see what happens off this restart zone.
Yeah, we still got a handful of laps to go before this thing is all said and done. 94 now, make it 95 as they hit the line of 142. Bernal, Dane up front. Morris, McCullough, stage 1, stage 2 winner back there in the 4th spot. They send it on down into turn number 1. Bernal holds it down. Dane right in behind him. Dane's been all over the damn place here tonight in that number 3 Chevy. And now here comes Aiden Morris. Morris, one of those drivers, obviously, here with the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series that knows how to get it done. We've seen it in the past. Works his way down to the inside. He will battle with Kyle Dean. They door bank coming off of 4. Slam the hell out of him. Morris goes to the bottom. Dean up top. All this going on behind Ricardo Bernal.
We've had an incident as well further back. Barnes and Swim have actually had contact together off of the front pack here as well, Jake. So we'll try and get a replay for that in a moment's time. Here's Morris on the inside of Kyle Dean. Trying to put the pressure on him. You see Ramirez up in the wall. Contact with McCullough. Could bring out the caution. It should bring out the caution. It will. There's a big one that's come about in the middle of this pack. We'll have a look what happened to Dagan Barnes and Cody Swim offline. So this was further and further back. You see Barnes just slowing way up for turn 3. Why was he slowing up so much? That arguably could have brought out the caution in its own right. It didn't, and then this moment with Ryder Poe, Mason Ramirez, and White McCullough. There you see Mason get a little bit too deep under brakes, up in the wall, comes down, Poe nowhere to go. Alex Evers came out the lucky side of that, so did Hilliard. Both of those guys kept it clean. That has given, though, a meatball flag to Ryder Poe. He'll have to come into pit lane. Hopefully he didn't waste that fast repair from an earlier incident that he had where he hit the wall off of turn 4. And that car will be able to get back out there again. But cars are in pit lane. Bernal, I think, may be able to make it home now on his fuel, but I don't think his tyres are going to necessarily make it to the end of this race, Jake.
Nah, probably not, but we'll see how it ends up working out for him. You know, I mean, just, do what you got to do. Try to make yourself, in that spot or whatever you got to do. But Bernal currently with the lead. Dean is second, Morris third. Blair actually moved up a couple of spots. We talked about him with that restart violation that he had. He's actually up into the 6th spot right now. And if you're going by the Hard Charger Awards, believe it or not, Steven Hilliard. we talked about Blair and Hilliard literally all night long. That might be what they're talking about, let it go. Well, hey, look, we're the announcers, we're the entertainers, we'll go with it. But Hilliard up 5 spots from where he started the race at. Saw him kind of back and forth. Dane actually flip-flopping right there with Bernal. So if he's able to get ahead of Ricardo Bernal and still be up 5, he will actually be the Hard Charger, being more up the running order than his counterpart, that being Stephen Hilliard. Then you see Cody Swam, Valise Moreau, Joel Valise Moreau up 4 as well. Then Alex Evers right there as well. You mentioned it. Evers and Hilliard kind of got lucky right there off of that big crash right there that happened. Hamish, I mean, big lucky for them.
They could have easily been caught up in that. So, interesting one for us as well is off this restart, Jake. Do you notice who's going to be starting alongside each other? Up 5, Stephen Hilliard, down 5, Wyatt Blair. I'm not saying
they said let it go. They said let it go.
I'm not saying anything's going to happen, but this has been a great run for Hilliard. Up 5, fantastic race for him thus far. Blair, probably lucky that he's just gotten this caution after getting that EOL penalty. He's now back within the chase. Great to see Evers back up into the top 4 as well after that early incident in this race as well. We'll see what happens off the restart zone though, and how they're going to go off this restart. Bernal and Dean on the front row as they get to the restart zone.
Here we go, back at it here tonight at New Hampshire Lobster 150. 42, make it 43 really once you count the white flag lap. 43 to go. Dean with the front spot. Bernal right there as well. Damn, they were looking 3 wide back there behind them. Obviously around the Hilliard-Blair area. And here comes Morris once again on the inside, trying to get a shot, trying to get around Bernal. Kyle Dean, he had his issues, got sideways earlier on. He's back up here at the front. Morris right behind him, slides right up in front of Bernal. Bernal gets the run now. He'll dive down to the inside going into 1.
Look at them, they're 3 wide into turn 1 as well. Blair, Hilliard and Evers trying to enter turn 1 together. Somehow they come out the other side of it and make sure they keep themselves in check. As we can see as well, 2 wide for Bernal and Morris. Hilliard tucks in behind Blair and the battle for P2's on. Here comes Bernal on the inside. Can he hang on to things? Ryder Poe, by the way, is I think unfortunately out of this race. He wasted the fast repair earlier on. So his race is done. McConnell's race is done. Barnes is now a lap down. Everyone else ahead of them still running. As we enter turn 1 once more, Kyle Dean wants that 3 in a row. He wants his 3rd win in a row this season. He's got to survive the next 40.5 laps to get there, with Morris and Blair hounding the rear of him. Same for Bernal and Hilliard. They want to try and take advantage as they enter turn 3 and 4 once again.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a battle of attrition from what we've saw here tonight, with just drivers doing, amazing things to just try to make it happen, trying to miss wrecks, strategy, speed. It's been literally all you could ask for here tonight with the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series here tonight at New Hampshire. Kyle Dean up at the front trying to get on out of here. Morris now, he has gotten in front. Wyatt Blair got around Bernal a second ago. Now Blair up to the 3rd spot. And now you got to have Aiden Morris and your pole sitter Wyatt Blair. What will happen between them battling for the 2nd spot? And if there's a possibility, Hamish, we saw this a while ago happen, battling for that 2nd spot. They just battled so damn much. And good God, Wyatt Blair. How about that right there? It looked like Jonathan Davenport sideways. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series driving some of these guys are doing. I mean, this would be a dirt track kind of style of a racetrack, as flat as it is. It would be very much like those kinds of racetracks. If we're seeing them drive them like a dirt late model coming off the corner sideways, as Morris took a shot going after Dean, not able to do it. Watch them get sideways. We've seen a bunch of them just snapping loose coming off of 2 and off of 4 here tonight.
I wonder if a bit of offset would help you here tonight, Jake. If you got a little bit of steering offset and just ran the rears out a little bit wider than the front end and see if that would actually help you. There you see Morris just riding the rears through turn 4. A little bit of a wall tap for Bernal in behind them as well. As Blair leads that little 3-car pack in the battle for P3. Morris and Dean still battling now for the race lead as well. We've got tight racing all throughout this field, including a battle between Swim, Ramirez and Velez Moto. Further down the order, Evers, McCullough are battling away as well, but these top 2 cars are still fighting for this. These are some of the front runners for the championship right now, including Dean and Morris and even Blair, who wants solid points on the board here tonight. Less than 40 laps to go now, Jake. We've got roughly 36 laps left. Who is going to survive to the end? If you were going to try and split the stint in half, this would be where you would have pit roughly around this time. We'll see if a caution comes out and if they decide to split the tyres at the end of this race as well.
Yeah, man, you mentioned the points, Hamish, just a second ago. Aiden Morris currently at the top of those point standings at 235 as far as the points goes. Kyle Dean actually sitting in the second spot as far as the points goes. This was after Talladega last week. So Morris, Dean, Evers, Ramirez, and Hilliard, that is the top 5 as far as those points goes. And, when you mention Wyatt Blair, he's way down there in the 19th spot. So still got a long season to go. Obviously, we got the break coming up in 2 weeks. But still a long season for Blair to try to get back going. But he's got a lot of ground that he's got to try to make up to try to catch back up to Morris and Dean and Evers and try to slide up here. But that's what your points is looking like right now. And ironically enough, 2 of those 3 drivers that we talked about right there at the top of the points, that being Aiden Morris and Kyle Dean, both of them running 1-2 respectively.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at the moment. There's a reason why they're the top 2 in the championship. They've been doing the most consistent drivers this season. As there you see a little bit of a wiggle for Morris, held up Blair, nearly held up Bernal. As Bernal now trying to get around Blair and him door to door up towards turn 1. They somehow keep hold of it. Bernal trying to get up the inside. Watch for Hilliard to try and pick up the pieces as well. As Morris now to the race lead past Kyle Dean. It's getting messy up here in the top 5. And they're absolutely scrambling. And you almost feel like they're running a tightrope here. And one wrong step could lead to absolute disaster for the top 5 cars in the field as they exit turn 4. And they try and line themselves up once again.
Literally throwing haymakers is what these drivers are throwing right up here at the front. Is Blair able to get around Dean? Hilliard now going after Dean as well. This is the battle for the 3rd spot. Bernal actually got kicked back to 5th. Stage 1 and 2 winner McCullough way back there in the 6th spot, watching all this take place in front of him. Throw a blanket more or less over the top 7 drivers. Evers right there on the back end of all this. Cody Swim about 11 seconds back, then Mason Ramirez and Joel Valise Moreau sitting back there at top 10 is what is on the lead lap. You see all of our great sponsors, Roasted Record right there at the bottom. Use code SIM20 for 20% off of your order when you kick it off over there with the Roasted Record. Obviously, Digital Race Engineer. We'll talk about our sponsors and all the sponsors here with the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series and with Motormouth broadcasted here in just a little bit. But riding on board with stage 1 and 2 winner, it is Wyatt McCullough trying to run down Bernal as he sees all this action, the door banging, the side-by-side, the 3-wide, all that, still trying to clip that damn apron to try to get that car to rotate.
Yeah, trying to get as much out of it as possible. Was Hilliard now putting the pressure on Kyle Dean. This is where you've got to try and get your momentum run to absolute perfection. You've got roughly 30 laps left in this race. You've got to try and plan for it. Plan your momentum run, plan your rhythm, and figure out when you want to go for it. Have you held on to a set of tyres? Have you held on to your tyres that are on the car? Have you got the grip under you as well? And what have you got planned if a caution comes out and everyone around you begins to get real loose? As Hilliard struggling to keep this car under him at turn 2. Somehow he saved it from going into the wall. Could have been a very, very tough moment for him if that had not gone the right way round. But somehow they're keeping it close together here, Jake, as Morris leads the way.
Wow, I mean, just literally you could be damn near speechless watching some of what we're seeing here tonight with the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series. Inches apart at New Hampshire, short track style, dirt tracking it coming off of the quarters. Literally just so much. And honestly, I mean, Hamish, you can't even call this, really. I mean, you can't even, what I mean by that, you can't even call who you think's going to win this thing. I mean, we thought after stage 1, stage 2, honestly, in my opinion, I thought this was McCullough's race to lose. And damned if it ain't, because he's now back in the 6th spot. He may be just riding back there letting these guys roughhouse one another and just slide right past them at the end of it to try to win it. But now it's a damn free-for-all. Well, Morris, half a second above Blair, then Hilliard about a half a second back, and it kind of scatters out about a half a second from there on back.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? So there's two thoughts here. So it's either the whole field was saving in the first 2 stages and they allowed McCullough to run away, or it's McCullough's saving right now and he's trying to keep himself in the fight for later in this race. They've got 26 laps to go, be 25 when we hit the line. Which is it though? Because there's really, I think, only one true answer. It's either McCullough is saving now or the others were saving earlier. I think the more likely scenario here, the more likely statistic is McCullough's probably saving now in case this race goes green to the end. He wants to keep a set of tyres under him, save his momentum run for later in the race. The issue is going to be is though, if he allows these top 4 to run away, it's going to be so difficult for him to get back up onto the rear of them and then get past them as well. So again, you've got to try and balance the strategy out between yourself and the other cars and figure out when is going to be the best time to strike and when is going to be the best time just to hang back and wait for your opportunity. Right now, with this top 4 battling, he's actually probably in the safest place he can be, because these guys could come together. There could be an absolute warfare about to happen here on New Hampshire, and that could then allow McCullough plenty of time to react, but then also sneak on by them as we see Bernal and Hilliard now get past Blair. So I think Blair's just started to wear the tyres away a little bit. He'll try and save him up now as they get past him. Bit of a door-to-door there with Bernal and Hilliard off of turn 2. But this is really becoming a hotly contested podium finish to the end of this race as Hilliard runs up high into the wall off of the contact with Bernal. He's struggling to keep the tyres under him off of turn 4.
Yeah, I mean, he is trying, but I mean, it didn't really help too much that he got doored the hell out of and got slid up the racetrack right there by Bernal. Bernal might actually send it in a little bit too hard and sends Hilliard up the racetrack right into the clutches of Wyatt Blair. Blair right in behind him. Now, we talked about it a second ago, you throw a blanket over the top 7, throw that out the door now. Now throw a blanket over the top 4. You see them right there on your screen, and then the other 3 back there are basically messing with one another at this point. With Kyle Dean, we thought he was going to be a fast one, have a shot, try to win this thing. Now he's back in 5th. He's got stage 1, stage 2 winner, Wyatt McCullough, down behind him. And then Alex Evers, I think he just tickled to death to be back on the damn lead lap with some of the stuff he has had going on this evening. Those 3 drivers battling for a top 5. And then you got Blair 4th, Hilliard 3rd, Bernal in 2nd, all of them chasing Aiden Morris, who, quite honestly, as I talked about, he is the point leader coming into the night. Hamish, he has been damn good on short tracks in general. Remember Rockingham? Rockingham's somewhat of a short track as well. Who won that one? It was Aiden Morris. So think about it. I mean, he's showing a little bit of something on these short tracks.
He is indeed, and I'm actually quite impressed and surprised with Ricardo Bernal. He's managed to keep these tyres under him. He's on the oldest tyres of everybody. Lap 72 was when he last took tyres. Lap traffic contact with Ramirez and Velez Moreau. It's going to bring out the caution. That nearly caught out the front runners. Hilliard was so lucky then not to get caught up in that. That was a huge moment off of turn 2, and this is how it came about.
Good Lord, look at this and see what happens. I got a feeling somehow, some way out of this, we may need to ride on board with somebody, possibly Mason Ramirez. He took the hardest hit out of everybody. You saw him just snap it sideways. Velez Moreau, bad spot for him. Tell you what, we'll do it twice for you here on Motormouth Broadcasting. Hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your ex-wives. That one wasn't as hard, but you right on board. This is the one where you hide your kids, hide your wives, and hide your ex-wives. This is a hellacious hit. Hits the wall, bounces down, bam, straight on the inside rotated wall. And lucky I mean, Mason didn't get completely cleaned out. I'm not sure who that was that went around him on the outside that could have straight up cleaned him out. I think it was Hilliard. Watch how tight this gets right here. Hilliard comes around the corner. They slam up, and look at this. Oh, he locked that sucker down, son. You saw the whole front of the car dive down. Whoo, boy, Hilliard's got to be thanking his lucky stars right there that he didn't just run slap dab into him and clean himself out. Bernal right there as well, got the Rowdy Forever sticker. Awesome, good stuff. Paying tribute to the late, great Kyle Busch. There's the slide. Oh, damn, Bernal almost got into the mix as well, and he couldn't go up because Morris was up there as well. And while we were talking about it, we had pit stops. And everybody pitted but two drivers, Hilliard and Cody Swim. How about that?
Interesting strategy. I don't hate it, though. They've saved to stay out there at this stage of the race. Everyone else, though, is going to be on fresh tyres. So everyone else is going to have the grip advantage now over these top two. Neither of them are, well, Hilliard would have a set available to him. I don't think Swim does. So I actually think Swim is forced to commit to this because he doesn't have another set of tyres to put onto the car. For Hilliard, I think right now this is him trying to hang on to this and hang on to a top spot. McCullough has opted not to take tyres. I think he's only taken right sides, Jake. So that's an interesting call for McCullough, who now sits up in P3. This has completely reshuffled the field. It's going to throw a massive spanner in the works for this restart. I'm intrigued to see who's going to come out the benefactor of this because we're going to have a short run to the end. We're currently on lap 125. Pace truck's going to come in to begin lap 126. The Swim's actually going to go to the back of the field. This is going to be an interesting one. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Cody Swim actually sliding back to the back of the field. Not sure, what the case may be at that, but here we go. Hilliard. Now, he is the oldest shoes at the front. Everybody else behind him at least took some rubber. McCullough thought about it. Damn near 4 wide coming off of turn 2. Side by side. Bernal gets sideways. Dean spins it around in the back. Able to straighten it out, but caution will come out.
Well, Hilliard will be loving this. He'll love a caution after caution, eye-pacing fest because it means he's not going to get attacked from those fresh tyre runners in behind him. Dean, you saw him just get loose then off of turn 2, managed to keep it out of the wall and also managed to keep himself in line. This is how it went down. So this was the restart. I think the reason Cody Swim's actually gone to the back was I think he was actually the lucky dog and he was meant to go to the end of line. So pace truck had come in. We get back to green flag running. And then this was Kyle Dean coming off of turn 2. So we'll follow him along here on our drone shot on top here. So there you see on the inside, there's McCullough, there's Blair. There's Bernal. They momentarily go staggered 4 wide through turn 2. And then you see Dean get loose. Manages to keep it off wall. Somehow wasn't collected by Joel Velez-Moreau. And they keep it in line at this point. But very lucky there for Kyle Dean. Those tyres will not be very happy with him now that he's actually got them a little bit loose. He actually did some repairs in pit lane when he last came in, Jake. About 30 seconds worth of repairs, I think it was. As wave round will come the way of Mason Ramirez. And we'll focus up for this restart once again. But interested to see how long Hilliard can hold off this pack of cars behind him. There's Dagan Barnes. He'll have to go to the rear of the field because he is a lapped car. But the new tyre runners, they had visual pace over Hilliard off that start. Visual grip over Hilliard as well. Might take him a little bit to get some temperature back in the tyres and get the grip back under him as well.
Yeah, I mean, good possibility out of that is you see Dagan Barnes right there was looking to possibly somehow, some way help his case, but not able to do it. So he will obviously have to drop to the back, and that will slide Bernal up on his outside, that being Hilliard. Blair be there as well as McCullough. Still try to go for the sweep, believe it or not. McCullough, I should say, still in the running for this thing. Aiden Morris, we saw how fast he was. See what happens right here if he can slide back up here and mix it up one way or another. Oh, it's The restart is just, I mean, it's just ramping up right here, Hamish, and the laps are just counting down as well. I mean, we're on 128 coming to 129. We're going to 142. The laps starting to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. The intensity starts ramping up, and the give-a-dams really start going out the door more and more.
That's right. And the closer we get to the end of this race, the more pressure that's going to be on the drivers. There may be a little bit more of that intensity forming on the road as well, but also maybe a little bit more desperation to get some moves made. That could lead to some issues in terms of pace cars coming out on track. We'll see what the desperation factor is like towards the end of this race. As the pace truck comes in, we're going to have roughly 13 laps to go. Restart zone's lit up once again, Jake. We'll see who will make the best of it here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hilliard now able to get clear. He'll jump down, jump up, jump down, but does it after the line. So Hilliard down on the bottom. Oh, here we go. No, he jumps up top. Blair sends it on the bottom side. Side by side for the race lead. It's Hilliard and Blair. And Bernal smack dab in the middle of it as well. New shoes. It's going to take it all the way to the front. Bernal will go to second. Caution is out as we got a spinner back in the back. 86. Valise Moreau spins it around once again. Caution is out, and that basically puts Stephen Hilliard in a bad spot. Watch it again. Cody Swim gets Valise Moreau, sends him around, overshoots the corner, slams into it. Barnes locks it up to not hit him. But White Blair now will reassume the race lead. And you got to give, literally an attaboy to Blair for what he has went through. At the start, jumped the restart because we had the spin right there at the start, Hamish. Then he had the restart, jumped that start, had to serve a black flag, had to drive down pit road under green, and went through the whole stage one and was able to stay on the lead lap and literally had to fight his way back from the back just to get back up here to exactly where he started at. I hope he's not, freaking out because of a screw up that he had earlier when he jumped the start. And not only that, but he had a restart violation a while ago where he went from the bottom and jumped up to the top as well. So Blair's literally pulling some Denny Hamlin crap right here. He's back, front, back, front, back, front. Now he's back up at the front. What's going to happen? Is he going to go back to the back and go back to the front again? Who knows?
Well, I'm intrigued now because Hilliard, it almost feels like Hilliard's locked into having to pull this strategy off of staying out, because if he were to come in now, he'd go right to the back of the field. Yes, he would have fresh tyres, but the whole field hasn't really run out their fresh tyres yet because they've been caution after caution towards the end of this race. These tyres are not actually necessarily worn away, so he wouldn't really get the ultimate advantage that he'd be hoping for if this was for a longer run. So I think for Hilliard, which we're seeing now, he's committing to trying to hang on to track position and hang on to these old tyres. We saw Bernal manage to use his tyres to his advantage earlier on, keep himself in the race. The point of pressure is, though, you've got 10 laps to go. You've got to go tooth and nail. You've got to go full push. The ability of the fresh tyre runners to push now is going to be a lot higher than what Hilliard can do. We'll see if he can make it work for himself, though, because it's going to be an intriguing restart. How this plays out, well, we can only wait and see what happens on screen for us. We know what the statistics are normally like for new tyres and who that actually does benefit and who it doesn't. Whether it's going to help Hilliard that he stayed out or not, only time will tell. I mean, ultimately, if he can get back in the race lead and we get caution after caution, that'll help him inevitably. So we'll see what happens here, Jake, off this restart. But we'll see who's going to be able to get this race win, because it could be absolute chaos.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's short tracks, it's restarts. I mean, it doesn't make a damn what league it is. Usually it does lead to chaos. And there's a very good possibility that we will see that type of chaos as we are back at it. Green flag back in the air. Everybody looked like they restarted very good right there. Blair able to get away and try to get on out of here. Blair at the front. Bernal sitting in second. McCullough now going up to third. Dean flip-flops back to fourth, and Hilliard back to fifth as well. Everybody chasing your pole sitter who started up front at the start of the night. It was White Blair coming around this time with 8 laps to go.
Well, look at that. How long a race can go on, and then actually how you can circle back to what we had at the very start. Blair and Bernal, top 2 positions after starting in the top 2, having completely opposite end races here tonight. And the fact they've come back together again at the front end proves that these are the guys to try and beat here this evening at New Hampshire. We're going to have 7 laps to go when we get to the line. You see running it a little bit high was Blair, as was Bernal, but Bernal couldn't get the run off to try and sneak down the inside. That's going to allow McCullough now onto their heels, who was the story of the stages here this evening. The winner of both stages was McCullough. So now it's pressure upon pressure for these drivers to try and maximise. There you see Blair getting a bit loose. That's going to force him to the midline. That allows McCullough to chase up on him. And Bernal as well, caught up on the high side, gave up some time as well, plus the wiggle off of 2. Top 3 battles on as McCullough sends it on the inside at turn 3. Can he get the run through? Blair tries to hold him off. Bernal now caught on the outside. That'll allow McCullough through. Look at him getting loose off of 4. It's high pressure now for the podium as McCullough's up into P2. Can he clean sweep into New Hampshire, Jake? Because it's all on the line for him right now.
Yeah, he's trying to make it work, and he is trying to go at it once again. Now it's the battle of the whites once again, but it's flip-flopped. Earlier it was McCullough up at the front, and Blair kicked back to second. Now it's flip-flop. Blair up front, McCullough back to second. Bernal riding a high-side tickler line back there and literally showing them how to do it sideways. Dean blinking out right there behind him as well. Now he has joined back. Front 4 trying to get on out of here. Morris has slid back about a second and a half off of this battle for the race lead. Blair still with the lead. 5 coming to 4 to go. McCullough in second. Has he got anything for Wyatt Blair to try to pull the sweep here tonight at New Hampshire?
There's so many different storylines in this battle for the race win, Jake. You've got the story of Wyatt Blair, pole sitter on the evening, jumped the restart on the first caution, forced him to take the green flag drive through pit lane, put him right to the back of the field. Then you've also got his end of line penalty for jumping off the restart earlier on as well by changing lanes. Then you've got McCullough, stage 1, stage 2 winner, going for a clean sweep this evening with great pace late in this race. And then Kyle Dean, who's on possibly some of the most pressure in this field, has won 2 races in a row across the last 2 weeks. He wants this 3rd win in a row here tonight, and he's got an opportunity to do it right now with 3 laps to go. As McCullough goes for the race lead into turn 1, he'll get it off of Blair. If they come together, Dean will be right there to pick up the pieces, but it's massive pressure. It's getting loose as McCullough straight in the wall with Kyle Dean. Caution should come out. That's a big one.
What a wreck, and McCullough already bloated up right there on the back stretch. We will go into overtime. McCullough sideways. There's Blair. He sends it on the bottom side. And yeah, Blair never touched it. McCullough just lost it. Actually kind of threw him for a loop. He wasn't expecting it to happen. Blair ends up going to the inside. McCullough gets sideways, sends it on around. Caution is out. And damn it all, we're going honestly some overtime racing here in the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series at a short track. I called it, Hamish. I knew it was going to happen. Here's going to be the issue right here. What do you do right here? Do you pit or do you not? That will be the ultimate decision on what you decide to do right here. Looks like Blair's thinking. Blair thinks different. He bails out. Bernal's going. Hilliard goes. Morris goes as well.
Well,
I think they might have screwed up. I think they might have screwed up.
If you're Hilliard, you've got to. You've got to try and get this free set of tyres now. So if you're Hilliard, his hand is forced to do it. For Morris, he might have some damage off the contact, so he's going to try and fix the car. Bernal trying to strategize around this as well. Let's think about this. Think about the day that some of these drivers have had in the top 3. Wyatt Blair, we mentioned it. Black flag off the restart zone earlier on from jumping the restart. Then you've also got his EOL penalty from changing lanes. Ramirez, who's been in pit lane with heavy damage off a contact earlier in the race, now P2. Alex Evers, who was at the back of the field and a lap down at the beginning of lap 1, is back up to P3. Cody Swim, who's been in the wars, although he is on older tyres, so I don't know how well he's going to be able to do off this restart. And then Kyle Dean is somehow still in this race after using his fast repair. He's back out on the road in P5. fresh tyres on board that car. I think right now the car to watch is Dean back in P5. I don't know, though, if they're going to have enough laps to get him up to the front. He may need a few green-white checkers here to get that car out of P5 and up to the front of the field.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's going to need something to happen right here as we're getting ready to get back at it here for a restart here with the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series. And obviously with green-white checkered attempts, you want to be able to make it to the white flag. Give the fans a finish that they deserve. That's what you want to have happen here tonight. The NASCAR Throttle Nation Series. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they can make it back, obviously to the white flag. See if they can keep it clean. At least hit the white flag. Wreck the hell out of one another. Go for it. First one back gets the win. How about Mason Ramirez? Back up here into this mix. We saw him with his issues here this evening. What a deal it would be for Mason Ramirez to get the win here tonight. But up front, big time shot. Blair gone. Here comes Evers. Evers had his issues here tonight as well as he shoots it down into 1 and 2. He's going to try to get on out of here, maybe try to run down Blair, but Blair is already checking out as they're wrecking behind him again. Morris goes around. Hilliard involved as well. Caution is out once again.
Yep, you see here, this is off of turn 2, so Hilliard gets loose. Morris, an unfortunate party in that as well, and again, it's not an egregious moment. It's a racing incident that would be penalised to someone for losing control of their car, but for Hilliard, that's an unfortunate moment on those cold tyres. That now has led to Morris getting a meatball flag. He's got to try and get that car in a pit lane, and if he has a fast repair, he's got to use it. If he can't use it, this is then going to change the lead of the championship. It should give the lead to either Wyatt Blair or Kyle Dean, depending how they finish. It's unfortunate for Morris and for Hilliard because you got to feel bad for Hilliard on that occasion there, Jake. Cold tyres, didn't mean to lose the rear. There's a lot of pressure to get that restart zone perfected. And then you got to feel bad for Morris because he's a sitting duck with nowhere to go. So it's a shame. It's a real shame that moment happened. You can't really put any blame on Hilliard, though, because that's just a simple mistake that can get made on cold tyres.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really do anything about that. I mean, it's just, like you said, it's one of those things that will and can happen. But now we're going to get into a restart, and this will get interesting because Bernal pitted on 141. Blair, he is on not necessarily old tires, but he's on old enough tires, 123. Evers the same, as well as Mason Ramirez. Bernal on newbies, so he's got something possibly for it. Dean and Hilliard, they were able to shoot on out as well, so they'll stay on the lead lap and able to burn fast repairs and all that good stuff as well to try to help themselves out as well. There you see them working their way off, and I'm sure they took 4 tires while they was at it. Hell, why not? So what a restart that we are in store for. As you see right there, the pace lights is out on the pace truck. And this will be, I believe this is the final attempt. I'm not 100% how many of these that they have. I think this is the final attempt, though, Hamish.
They either have 2 or they have 3. This would be classified as the second. I'm trying to
okay, so they got 3. Okay.
The race info. I think we have 3 from memory. So this would be the second of 3. If we get another, that will be the final attempt. And then we would end under yellow after that if that were to happen again. So for Blair and Evers, and even Mason Ramirez, what a race it's been for them, a race of up and downs. And we're going to have an almighty end to this race here, Jake. Bernal and Swim. Velez Morrow has been in the wars. Dean without a bonnet on that car, and then Hilliard as well. Let's see what happens here in the final restart. Hopefully for these drivers to the end of this race.
Yeah, there's no telling what's fixing to happen right here. But we'll see if they can make it back to the white flag. Back underway once again on the restart. Blair gone. Ramirez down to the inside. He goes after Evers. Here comes Bernal. Remember, freshies. Trying to make a shot. He gets around Ramirez. He's going after Evers. They're coming back for the white flag.
Let's see if they can make it to the white flag. If they get to the restart zone and they wreck, it will not bring out the yellow. They will make the white flag. Now as they get through the restart zones, this is going to be the final lap of the race. Wyatt Blair leads the way. Ricardo Bernal in behind him. Evers as well on the podium with Mason Ramirez on his heels. Watch for Kyle Dean too to try and take advantage. Who is going to try and get this race win to the end? Wyatt Blair, who was in the walls earlier on, into the wall goes Dean and Ramirez. That'll take him off the podium here, Jake. What a race end it's going to be.
What a race it is going to be. And Bernal trying to send it as much as he can. 20 lap fresher tires is not going to be enough. Wyatt Blair, damn it all, he took a shot. If he'd had one more lap, Bernal might have had him. But Wyatt Blair coming home with the win after all his struggles from back to front to back to front. Wyatt Blair gets the lobster 150. There you see Kyle Dean getting a little interested. Oh, wow, hold up. Dean and Ramirez. Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. Ring in the bell, baby. I think we got beef. I think we really got beef between them. As there you see Blair going to burn it down on the front straight. Hey, they might be just telling each other congratulations on it, but you don't usually see that right there. So, especially when you're racing for the fifth spot. So, I'm not sure, but we'll go with it. But Blair going to burn it down on the front straightaway. And what well deserved as well, Hamish. Literally with all that he had to deal with here this evening.
Well, what a story it was for that podium tonight. Wyatt Blair, that drive-through penalty early on from jumping the restart to the EOL penalty off of changing lanes off a restart as well. And then the story of Alex Evers to get back to P3 after what happened on lap 1 to him is an almighty effort. Ricardo Bernal, who held on to old tyres for so long. The top three, yes, Blair broke some rules. He got penalised for it. But the three of them, to hang on for that long to the very end, have the survival factor that they did to get these cars to the podium is an almighty effort, and that is one that they should be proud of this evening. The other cars in the field, they should be proud of their efforts as well. They did very, very well, including Joel Velez-Moto on his debut. Was in the wars all night, Jake. Literally all night he was in the wars. It felt like D-Day for him. He still comes home in P4 and an almighty effort for himself as well.
Yeah, what a drive, obviously, for all those drivers and everybody involved, for what they had to deal with. Wow, crazy stuff. Race results for the Lobster 150. And obviously, there you see it. We're over just a little bit as far as the laps goes. 153 miles for 149 laps with 5 green flag lead changes between 6 different drivers, 13 total cautions, with 39 laps in total. Feliz Moreau getting the hard charger up 8 spots. Damn it all, he comes so close to getting on the podium. But obviously, you see it right there on the right-hand corner of your screen. He'll get a 4th. McCullough did lead the most laps, and Bernal got the fastest lap. A 30.195 pole sitter was Wyatt Blair. Blair led 31 laps. But he led the one that counted. He gets the win here tonight. Ricardo Bernal will get 2nd. Alex Evers gets 3rd. Joel Velez-Moreau will end up finishing in 4th with Mason Ramirez getting in 5th. Kyle Dean's going to get 6th with Cody Swim getting 7th. Stephen Hilliard will get 8th. Aiden Morris will come home with 9th. And Wyatt McCullough will end up finishing 10th with Dagan Barnes, Ryder Poe, Josh McConnell, and Christian Coffey. Christian Coffey, more or less, will finish in the 14th spot. Wow, what a race. Beef right there at the end. You got to love it. Well, we'll bring him on up right here and bring up Mr. Wyatt Blair for what he has accomplished here tonight. Wyatt, buddy, getting the win here tonight. Hot damn, baby, you got the win. Tell us about your night, because I'll be honest with you, it looked boring as hell. At least from my standpoint, it looked boring. No, I'm just joking, dude. You had a hell of a night, to be honest with you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, honestly, it feels really good to get a win here in this series with it only being my 2nd start. I thought I was going to get a win last week at Talladega. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for me. Today, came in here. I actually just bought the track earlier this week and did 150 laps here with a 130 track temp and testing, and figured, hey, if I can run it on a hot track, I can run it on a cool track, and luckily that turned out being the case here. Um, I I've never made so many freaking mistakes in my life where it ends up getting me penalized. But honestly, on that last restart, I didn't think I did anything wrong in my eyes because I've done it a lot. But um, honestly, giving me the EOL did actually end up helping me because I was already planning on pitting that exact lap that the caution came out that I got the EOL. So at the end, it was just a whole game of patience and tire saving, which I'm really not good at tire saving at all. But I'm really happy to get this win here. Worked really hard last week and once again worked hard today, and luckily it paid off.
Well, to confirm, are you speaking about when you changed lanes before the start finish line, Wyatt? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to confirm, it's actually an iRacing code of conduct issue. You're actually not allowed to change lanes before you actually get to the start finish line. So that's why it would be penalised. Oh, that's why they penalised you, because it goes against the iRacing code of conduct to do that.
Damn,
Yeah,
just kick him while he's down. Why not?
But no. But aside, no. I'm actually just trying to inform White so he knows in case he didn't know. But no, I mean, what a race they won. I mean, we spoke about the storyline throughout the whole race. The mistake early of jumping the restart, getting you the drive through, then even towards that, that breaking of the changing lanes rule. To then come back and come on to win this race through all the chaos that actually happened, that's a very tough effort, and you drove very well to do so. Coming into tonight's race, obviously this is a difficult track, cool track, a lot flatter than other 1 mile ovals as well. So it was a difficult one for you to win, and you had to try and keep yourself in the game. Didn't get the stage results you may have wanted, but you got the race result at the end of the day, so it's a great race win.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. This is one of the flattest tracks I've ever driven in my life. It feels more like a dirt track than anything, because I mean, really, you feel like you're dirt tracking it off the corner, no matter what you're doing. But yeah, just big thank you to Shockwave Motorsports, Shockwave Marine Suspension Seating. Thank you to Cody Swim, who brought me on his team last week. And thank you to Wyatt Miller, my spotter and crew chief. And honestly, just hoping we can maybe get some more points and hopefully chase the championship this year.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see if we can make it work. Yeah, we'll see if we can make it work. Wyatt, buddy, congratulations on the win. Appreciate your time, and we will see you next week in Dorothy's country when we go to Kansas.
Yeah, see you next week.
That was Wyatt Blair. Comes home, obviously, with the win. Lit it up and made it work. And damn, everybody and their brother is now down there in the green room. We got to somewhere find obviously Ricardo Bernal, which I have nowhere. Actually, right there he is. He's up here in another deal, and Mason Ramirez is up there with him. I don't know if maybe we can have a chat with him. Maybe, possibly, Ricardo. Can we have a chat with you? I mean, you got Mason down there with you. I was making sure you weren't getting in no trouble, but buddy, you come on with a P2. Congratulations on that. Tell us about your racing. What more did you need other than one more lap? Because you was right there on Blair's tail, right there going into one, right there coming to the checkered.
I didn't need another lap. I just needed to stop. When I took tires in the faster pair and I was restarting third, so I was behind the two on the last few restarts. He kept diving one and was checking up the top, so I couldn't really get a run out of there. And I mean, I tried passing below him too, and he would complain about that. So I'm not sure what's up with him. I didn't have any problems with him before that. I mean, everybody here was complaining about stuff that they shouldn't have been, and other people weren't complaining about. Like, for example, the 77, the 71. It's really ironic that they run Spire numbers because they drive just like Hocevar does in real life. I don't know. I'd like to say that there was a few things that I wanted to look back on the broadcast last week, and I just want to say that you guys have an amazing broadcast. Like, it's one of the best I've ever seen. It's like amazing. Like, I like watching you guys. I'm probably gonna watch a few other races and like other live streams that you do upcoming, because like you guys are amazing. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna come back I probably won't because the racing in this league is ridiculous. Like I could name probably 4 off the top of my head who need to be out of here.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Hamish, before you ask your question, I gotta do this real quick. Just because, yeah.
We got beef!
I gotta ring the damn thing. Go ahead, Hamish.
Well, Ricardo, you drove very, very well, obviously, and ran through some of the struggles that were on track tonight as well. What like do you, I know obviously you've got the things that you found were obviously difficult to deal with throughout the race and perhaps throughout the series as well. What do you think could have gone better this evening then off the back of that, knowing what was either being complained about from your end or from other drivers, and from your perspective, what do you think could have gone better out there, not only for yourself but for the field as a whole?
To be honest with you, Amish, I think I mean, the saying, patience is a virtue, and that really applies to many things in life. And this racing is no different. Even before the first stage, the racing was, it wasn't aggressive. It was just some things that I wouldn't have done, but that's fine. Everybody has their own driving style. But then it got to stage 2, and then it kind of like doubled the way the aggressiveness of everybody. And I mean, by the final stage, even though, okay, sure, it's the final stage, we're going to the checkered, but we still had multiple laps to the checkered, and the racing was pretty bad. Like, at this track, I'm not against coming down, like, quote unquote, chopping somebody as much as, say, on an intermediate where dirty air could really play a factor, but there was a few really close calls that I had to check up. There's actually quite a few times I had to get on like 40% on the brake to not run into the car in front of me. Not only patience, but I think everybody needs to calm down in this league. They get upset quite easily, and I understand being upset at some of the stuff, but like when it's also 2 wrongs don't make a right, right? And we've been seeing a lot of that. Just these past 2 weeks that I've been a part of the league, I've seen a lot of people trying to make 2 wrongs a right, and that's just not how it goes. I got caught up in 2 different wrecks 2 consecutive weeks for something that wasn't my fault because people are getting super upset over some really small stuff or some stuff that could be talked over. But I mean, I've been in too many leagues to be dealing with that stuff. I try to ignore it, but if it gets to a point where it's so bad, just I just get away from it, and there's only one way to get away from it here.
Well, alrighty then. Ricardo Bernal, he comes home with a P2 here tonight. Ricardo, buddy, congratulations on finish. Appreciate your time. You got any sponsors or any other shout outs you want to thank?
No, I'm good. Like I said, just you guys got to keep up the great work. You two are amazing in the booth, to be honest.
Thank you very much. That means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Buddy, congratulations on the finish. Appreciate your time. Hopefully we will see you back though.
We'll talk about it. But thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I just love that. Hamish always love to get, the guys coming there and, hey, buddy, y'all kicking ass in the booth, buddy. Good job. All good stuff. We love that stuff. We really do. It means a lot. It really does. It makes us feel like, we're meant to do this, I guess, if that made any sense. Hamish, we'll go ahead. We'll hurry up. I know we're ready to get out of here. Alex Evers comes home with the P3 here tonight. Alex, buddy. Boy, I'll be honest with you. I'll just be honest with you. United, right off the bat, it started off in the crapper. And then all of a sudden, bam, baby, you come home with a podium. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened lap 1. I think I got shipped, but I'm not even sure. I didn't go back even look at it. But yeah, I basically started the race a lap, 2 laps down, lap down. I don't remember, lap down, and I stayed a lap down until I think the start of stage 3. And then finally, when I got on the lead lap, I just let everyone take themselves out. Everyone was just driving super aggressive. I got put 3 wide into the wall. If I didn't lift, I would have been wrecked again. So I kind of just let everyone make their own mistakes, and somehow I wound up in P3.
Well, Alex, I mean, what a race for you. It almost feels like P3 is becoming your natural state of affairs at this point. I think is this your third position now this season? I know your average finish prior to tonight was around about P5, but I feel like eventually it's going to become P3 the more this happens. What track are we going to see you finally maybe take that final step up and get up to P1 here on the podium?
I honestly have no idea. I think I might just take over the Sheldon Creed name and just finish second or third every single week.
I mean, it'd be consistent, and consistency is always key. If you consistently finish on the podium, that's going to get you well within the championship chance. I've seen this in other series, not just Oval Series, but Road Series as well. I mean, people can win a championship without even winning a race all season, and I think if you were to consistently do that, that's going to put you in a positive position. Kansas next week, how are you feeling going into that one after this race?
I honestly don't know. I think I've only raced there once, but I mean, I raced here. I bought the track yesterday, so maybe it'll play out the same way, but hopefully we'll be 2 spots closer.
Well, alrighty. Alex Evers comes home with the P3 here tonight. Alex, buddy, congratulations on the finish. Appreciate your time. You got any sponsors, any shout-outs you want to thank?
No sponsors, but shout out to you guys. You guys make this content fun. I always go back and rewatch it all, and you guys keep it entertaining, so appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate you. Damn, that's 2 times in a row right there, Hamish. We're doing something right. Alex,
you're doing
buddy,
something right.
Alex, buddy, congratulations on finish. Appreciate your time. We'll see you at Kansas next week.
Appreciate you, fellas.
That was Alex Evers comes home with the podium here tonight, getting the P3 here tonight. Real quick, Hamish, before I turn it over to you, interesting thing, I saw this on Facebook a second ago with the top 3 worst rated beers. I just had to share this with you. Number 3 is Natural Light, number 2 is Keystone Ice, and number 1 was Budweiser Select. It's kind of interesting.
I feel like they're personally attacking you and your character with that top 3 there, Jake. To be honest with you, so
no, not really, because I don't drink none of that crap.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
I don't drink none of them beers.
Were you worried if maybe Coors Banquet or Miller Lite was on that
Busch
list?
Light,
Busch Light.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I don't drink neither one of them. It's Busch Light. It's Busch Light or Michelob Ultra for me. And if whiskey is Jack Daniels.
What's really disappointing is, Jake, I was going to say Busch Light, and I decided to say Coors Banquet instead, and I'm actually disappointed in myself that I didn't say Busch Light on that one.
Well, Busch Light's a hell of a lot cheaper than Michelob Ultra. I will say that. You can get a 30-pack for what you can get an 18-pack for Michelob Ultra. At least that's how it is here in Georgia.
It sounds like the differential of buying Madeo or buying Corona if you were going to buy Mexican beer. But yeah, I mean, I
don't roll with any of that, but go ahead.
Well, obviously, Kansas next week is the final round before we have our summer break here in the series for the Throttle Nation series here on Motormath Broadcasting. So be sure to join us, obviously. I mean, it's going to be a massive race. Kansas is always a track that'll turn it on for us, Jake. This week it turned it on for us here as well at New Hampshire after the weather delay that we had earlier. So much racing to come, obviously, across the channel. You guys will make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the bell icon as well, because we've only just ticked over 1,000 subscribers this week. So it's a massive thank you to everyone who helps support us by broadcasting a whole heap of different series, obviously. Tomorrow, Jake, you and I are on board for Maximum Velocity Racing League and the CNC Home Designs Truck Series as part of their chase format. That's going to be a big one. You don't want to miss that one if you want more and Jake, or more of me and Jake in the booth together. It's going to be a fun time because I'm super excited. Jake, I'm sure you are as well. That's going to be a fun one tomorrow when we are going to be racing out at Auto Club Speedway. So you guys don't want to miss that action, and it's going to be a fun time, Jake. I'm really excited. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it too, and you viewers out there, you're going to have a lot of fun with it as well if you make sure to join us tomorrow night.
Anytime we are watching iRacing broadcast or calling iRacing broadcast, it's always fun, especially here on Motormath Broadcasting. Hey, New Hampshire, I'll be honest with you, it's not my favorite short track. At least that's just me. I mean, but you know what? I mean, it does produce, and it damn sure produced here tonight. So, I mean, you got to give the props, obviously, to the NASCAR Throttle Nation Series for putting on the show, making it interesting, making it good stuff. So, got to give them props on that one. I mean, it was a great race. Obviously, Blair getting the win. Had some beef right there at the end. I am curious if there was some actual beef right there between Mason Ramirez and Kyle Dean, because they was dooring the crap out of one another coming off turn 2, and they doored each other and kind of raced, kind of ran each other down. So I am very curious if beef was in play. We'll probably, talk to them about that throughout the week. It might be a little bit hot right now, and I don't want to get us fired or nothing like that. But anyway, that is going to do it for this broadcast here on Motormouth Broadcast. Got to thank all the great sponsors here with Throttle Nation, and obviously with Motormouth Broadcast, and obviously Spargo Media, Sandbox, Sherry Farms, obviously for what they do, or Shirey Farms. Damn it, I mess that up every damn week. Shirey Farms for what they do for Michigan farmers. Dirt AI Racing, Endless Gaming, Sandman Plays, Hasbro, Steven, and obviously Abe Morris for his iRacing YouTube channel. And I mean, obviously Throttle Nation for Racing Mason Ramirez for what they do, and Beeline Designs, obviously, and Buckshot Plays. All these great sponsors, obviously, with Digital Race Engineer, Roasted Record. We talked about them as well. Clawville Farms. I mean, the list goes on and on. So many great sponsors that are part of this league and this channel. So thank you very much to each and every one of them. Shout out to the drivers. Like I mentioned a second ago, y'all put on a hell of a show. It doesn't matter where y'all race at. Y'all going to put on something for us to talk about, and it's going to be interesting. Fans, I know y'all wanted us to let it go, but, hey, it's entertainment. Chill. But we'd love for y'all to come out and support this great league, support this channel. Like Hamish said, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, keep up with everything going on here on Motormouth Broadcasting. And, like I said, Mason Ramirez, and and Jim Cunningham allowing us to come in here, be ourselves, entertain you, the fans, see some great racing on a Wednesday night here on iRacing here on Motormouth Broadcasting. So thank you very much to them. For my Aussie friend, Down Under, co-commentating and producing here tonight, Mr. Hamish Monroe. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Said, as I always say, be safe, be kind, be fast. We are 1 week away from a summer break, baby. I cannot wait. Honestly, I can't wait for the summer break, Hamish. I'm ready to kind of have a little time with the family. But Kansas is going to be a damn good one. Dorothy's country. Hopefully, we won't have a tornado, a virtual tornado, when we get lined up next week when we go there. Same time, same channel, right here on Motormouth Broadcasting, where legends are created 1 corner at a time. God bless y'all. We'll see y'all next Wednesday night.